Hi all, hi there out in YouTube land. So today's video we're going to be doing two very quick and easy recipes that I have done for multiple gatherings, friends, family, work. They're super simple and they are delicious and they go over super well. So I figured it would be a fun thing to do, especially if there's any football gatherings or games or playoffs that you're going to, that it would be good recipes to have in your repertoire. But before I begin the video, I just want to give out a huge shout out to my two subscribers, Michelle and Rusty. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. It means a lot. Now I am hoping that I will be able to double so I can get up to 4 subscribers. But no, truly, I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Okay, so the first I'm going to start with the sweet. It's a brownie mix. It's a brownie recipe based on a brownie mix. I use the Ghirardelli double chocolate. It's a boxed. And then I added my own touches to it. And how I came up with this was I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna experiment and see what this does. So here I go. And apologies for the banging. I think that there's somebody moving in or out, and it's either on my floor or it's beneath me. But so if you hear the random banging, that's what it is. Okay, so let's get started. So you just want like your normal mixing bowl, but before, I just go based on the instructions on the back, which is to preheat the oven to 325, which I did. And I already greased my glass 8x8 dish. Forgot the name of it. It's been one of those weeks. Okay, so as I said, when I first came, I forget why, I think one day I just decided I wanted to bake and, you know, like, let me try a boxed, you know, take a little bit of a shortcut and let me try a boxed brand. And just on a whim, because I think it was on sale, I tried Ghirardelli, and it turned out really delicious. Like, I love it. A lot of friends and family have commented that they thought it was really tasty. Okay, so the first thing that you need, and again, this is according to the box, 1/4 cup of water. Got too anxious. Perfect. That goes there. And now a 1/4 cup, no, 1/3 cup of vegetable oil. And as far as the greasing of the pan, honestly, the only thing that I use is I used the Pam baking spray, and it has a little bit of flour in it. Works every time. I have no issues taking it out of the no issues taking it out of the pan once it's done. Very easy to use. And then 1 egg. Now, I don't know about you all, but I I find that there's a difference between organic eggs and non-organic eggs. And I swear that there is a definite taste. My mother happens to think that I'm crazy and that I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm telling you, there is definitely a distinct difference in taste, but that's just me. Plus, I'm not real sure if I don't know that she necessarily um, uses that many eggs. I don't think, on the weekend, or she's retired, so, if even during the week, I don't think she uses a ton of eggs. I don't recall her ever saying, oh yeah, I made myself a big breakfast. And for years and years and years, ever since I was a kid and my mother had started teaching me how to cook simple things, I had always made scrambled eggs sort of the American way, which is you put in milk, you put in salt and pepper and whatnot. But then one day I came across a video that Gordon Ramsay had done and on how he did the scrambled eggs. And oh my God, I will never go back to making them the way that I had been used to making them. Never again. Okay, so basically you just want to mix the oil, the water, and the egg until it gets fully mixed. So I put that over there. And then just start putting in the brownie mix. Now this particular mix, because it's the double chocolate, it already has chocolate chips, but I really like my brownies kind of on the fudgy side and the moist side. So I do put in a little bit more chocolate chips, but you'll see that in a second. So basically, when I'm pouring the brownie mix, I do it in batches because I never wanted there to be clumps of flour. Somehow I have it in my head that if you do it all at once, you could very potentially end up with a big clump of flour or dry mixture in the middle of your brownies, and I don't think that would be particularly tasty. So I just put in little bit by little bit, make sure it's good and mixture, that there's no clumps of dry mixture. It doesn't say to do it this way on the box. It's just how I do it. You can do whatever way works best for you. I don't know about where you all are located that's watching me out there on the World Wide Web, but here in Boston or Massachusetts, or in my part of Massachusetts, it was chilly. It went down to pretty much the 30s, the high 30s last night, and I am somebody who absolutely cannot be hot. I would much rather be cold. In the winter, as a matter of fact, a lot of times I go without a jacket and everyone looks at me like, how come you're not wearing a jacket? I'm like, I can't be bothered. I go from the car to the building, back from the building, back into the car, back into my apartment. So, no. And I find that the winter jackets especially are very bulky. and I feel congested. Not congested, but not even really suffocated, but they're too big and annoying to deal with when you're behind the wheel and you have your seatbelt on and whatnot. And then, of course, there are the people that think I can't afford a winter coat. The truth of the matter is, I have like 3 of them. Yes, I have 3 winter coats. Don't wear any of them. Unless I'm going to some event or something, if I was going to a wedding or, I don't know, a christening or something, and if it was, you know, like, then I would, well, actually, I would probably bring it, whether or not I would actually wear it, or I would just have it, like, draped over my arm. But the other thing, too, is that if you're not going to wear it, then you have to have it on your arm. You always have to be sort of mindful of where you leave it, especially for somebody like me who doesn't wear them. It's just another thing to keep track of. And my assistant can tell you I lose stuff all the time and super easily. Like, it's not even funny. I mean, she'll hand me a piece of paper, you know, then an hour or 2 later, she'll be saying, oh, you know, do you have that invoice for me? And I'm like, what? Yeah, so we just kind of now have it as a system that she keeps the papers. And if it's something I need to sign, I sign it while she's there, and we go on with our day. Okay, the last little batch. Funny story about the winter jacket. So this was a few years ago. My stepmother says to my father, you know, we should really get Laurie a really nice, good quality winter jacket. Because, I mean, even though this woman knows that I have 3 of them, I think she thought for a brief second it was, I didn't like them. No, I love them. I wouldn't have bought them otherwise. I just don't wear them. Of course, I run hot. You know, when everybody else is like, oh, it's so cold in here. I'm so cold. Not me. I'm like, it's perfect. So anyway, my stepmother says, in front of me, because she knew that I would have to go with them in order to get fitted for it and to get a style that I liked. So my stepmother says to my father, you know, for Christmas, I think we really should get Laurie a good quality winter coat. You know, like, we really should. And my father looks at her and says, name one time you've ever seen her in a winter coat, and I will buy her a top-of-the-line designer coat. I was like, I don't need, hello? I'm like, I don't need a coat. I got 3 of them. I don't wear it because by choice. And I'm not a hat person. Never have been, even as a little kid. Drove my mother crazy. Was constantly losing my mittens and my hats. So finally my mother's just like, fine. So she would get me coats that had hoods. Good one. That had hoods. Of course I would lose the jacket. I'd come home from school, my mother would be like, where's your jacket? And I'm like, I don't know. School, maybe, playground, no clue. So by the time that I got into high school, my mother's like, wear whatever you want. Okay, so as you can see, the brownie mixture is all nice and mixed, no clumps. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the Ghirardelli milk chocolate premium baking chips, these guys in the blue. And all I'm gonna do, really, there's no measurement, there's no quarter cup, whatever, none of that. I literally take it, and just do one quick pass like that. Okay. See? Just one quick light coating of chocolate chips. It just gives it that extra little bit of fudginess, as well as it keeps it moist. So if it's sitting in the container for a couple days, it won't get dry. It will stay pretty good. Okay, then what I do, because I love toffee. If you didn't get that from my last video, yeah, I love toffee. So I put in Heath bar English toffee. That's trying to do this without getting the chocolate on me. These guys, that's what I use. And again, no measurement whatsoever. I just take the package, kind of keep the spoon out of the way, and just ever so lightly light coating, like such. Like that. Just one quick loading. And you just mix it till they're all covered. You know, I gotta tell you, you really need the upper arm strength to mix this. Okay. Then the very last thing that I add is pecans. You could do walnuts or whatever kind of nut that you like, or sans nut. You don't need to use any nuts, but I like pecans. So I use a half a cup of chopped pecans, and again, one quick, and I'm doing this with my opposite dominant hand, as I did with the chocolate chips, one quick layer all around, like that. Okay, so now that that is all mixed and coated, no dry spots, take your dish, okay, get all that out to the sink. That goes. Then you just give it a little zhuzh to even it out. Then what I do is, because again, I love toffee, and it's actually not overpowering. It seems like it is, but it's really not. You just take the toffee, and again, just sprinkle it all over, light coating, as little or as much as you want. I just do a quick little thing. Then I take some more of the pecans, the other half, And again, just lightly coat it. And then I just give it a smidge little, just a little pat. So they're not loose when they bake in. They kind of bake into the top of the brownies. See, like that. Then you put it in the oven for at 325 for, according to the box, it says 43 to 48 minutes. It usually ends up being about 48. But again, that's going to depend on your oven. Okay, now because I'm not going to make you all wait 48 minutes. Ta-da! Have one already made. This is the end result of one that I made before I filmed. So I'm actually going to dig into it. I find that a serrated edge works the best. And mine has that little sort of thing at the top. And it actually still has a little bit of warmth to it. When I first was experimenting, my first thought was, oh my God, I put, I didn't cook it long enough, but I probably had overcooked it the first time. But it was actually still moist. So I will take a corner because I love the corner. Oh my God, they're still kind of warm. See all that gooiness? Very fudge-like. Nice and fudgy. So in a cup, like tomorrow, these will be super good. Ooh. These are so good. Oh my God. At the risk of bragging about my semi-baking abilities, these are so good. And I love it when they're warm. And that chocolatey taste, as well as, believe it or not, you might think that that was too much toffee, but it's really not, because it's just two light coatings, and it's just that hint of toffee and butteriness. I have a coworker. She loves the brownies, loves them. And there was another coworker who also really liked them. And when she was first tasting it, I wasn't there at the time that she was tasting them. So she didn't know specifically what was in them, but it was one of those things where she was like, familiar flavor, but what is it? A type of thing. Every year, my work does a cookout, and they ask the employees, whoever wants to bring in desserts. And the saltine toffee that I did in my last video, that in these, they fly, they're gone. There's crumbs left, not even. So good. Now, the other thing, and these, you know, these would be perfect for like if you go into somebody's house or if you're having people over for the game. They would be winners. Okay. Now this is a chili dip. You know what? I'm gonna wash my hands. So the next one is a chili dip. And I got this from my cousin Stephanie. And it's such a huge success. It's so delicious. Again, there's not a drop of it left when I bring it to no matter what the function is, especially the work function. Yeah. Okay, so it's 2 packages of cream cheese. You want to sort of let them sort of soften before you attempt it. So leave it out for, I don't know, a couple hours. And then with the back of spoon, and this is just a regular Pyrex. You know, I think 8-inch maybe. You know, regular Pyrex dish. And you just smooth it out. And I find I accidentally once did use the 1/3 less fat cream cheese. And it was funny because I didn't pay attention to the packaging. I just picked it up where I was always used to seeing it in the store. But they had sort of switched out the shelves. I think that they were cleaning the shelves, and when they put it back, they just put it back in different spots. So I didn't notice it. And then when I was doing this part of it, I was like, this is so soft. And I'm like, and I was in a rush, and I'm like, wow, it was only out for like a few minutes, and here it is already just like smoothing over really nice. And then it wasn't until at the gathering when somebody was like, this is so different. Like, I don't know what you did, but It wasn't the same. So now I just always make a point to get the regular cream cheese. I use Philadelphia, but whatever cream cheese. Well, actually, I don't know. I've only ever used the Philadelphia cream cheese. Okay, so then you want to smooth it out so it's got a clear coating like that. Nice and smooth. Then what you want to do is, the chili that I use is the Hormel chili vegetarian with beans. You can use whatever type of chili you want. With meat, without beans, without turkey, whatever kind that you want, you can use. I don't like canned beef. Can't stand it. It freaks me out. So that's why I use the vegetarian with the beans. And I will tell you, even the meat eaters, the die-hard meat eaters in my office, they gobble this up without even question. So because there's usually a little bit of water at the very, very top, and kind of freaks me out, I take this strainer. I don't even know where I got it from. I just take the strainer just so to keep the sauce and the chili, but just that water up on top, and then on my garbage bowl, just dump it in there. And yes, garbage bowl, got that from Rachel Ray. Best idea ever. And you just want to get that extra water just so that the dip itself is not watered down in any way. And then just pour it out. Like so. Okay, put that there. See? Then again, you can use whatever type of cheese that you want. I happen to use mozzarella. I love mozzarella cheese, so that's what I use. And just sprinkle it over. Like so. Like that. And then you put it in the microwave for 5 minutes. And then I am of the school of thought that you clean up as you go. It's so funny, when I moved into this place, it was 3 years ago, and my BFF, when we were actually going to New York to go see a concert. And she had actually come up here because she wanted to see the place, so she was coming over for a sleepover party. And when she came, she was insistent that she was going to cook for me. And it was, oh no, I'm sorry, it wasn't the first time that she was up here, because we used the George Foreman grill that she had given me as a housewarming gift, which I was incredibly grateful to her for, and it was my first experience with it. And they were great, and so don't be surprised if there's a cook with me type thing using the George Foreman grill, because with using an Ina Garden recipe for chicken, I kind of modified it, and it's really delicious. And again, the people who have eaten it have all enjoyed it. It's a tequila lime chicken. It's really, really good. So anyway, getting back to my BFF, there was once I moved, there was a lot more expenses than I was used to, and we weren't able to meet up and see each other all that often. So she said, I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna cook for you. I'm gonna come up for dinner, and I'm gonna make you dinner, and I'm gonna show you this recipe. And her church had put together, it must have been for like the holiday season, church ladies recipes. So there was one, and I even forget what it was called, and it had a cute name to it, but obviously not cute enough to where I can remember. Either that or my brain is shot. Not entirely sure which one. So anyway, she came up, and basically it was kind of on the idea of like a hamburger helper, sloppy Joe type of thing. And it was really good. But she insisted that she was going to be the one that was going to be doing the cooking, and that I wasn't to lift a finger. She was going to do all the cooking. So I was like, okay, fine. But she was driving me crazy, because she's one of these, like, makes a mess and then she cleans up after she's done. And then me, no, gotta clean as I go. So we're kind of the opposites in that. We're a lot alike in a lot of other ways. But that we are complete opposites, because I was following her around the kitchen after she got done using one thing, and I knew she was completely done using it. I was following her around with like the sponge, and I was pissing her off and she was pissing me off. It's quite the show. It's amazing that we're even friends. But then again, we're so much alike. So that was fun, and the trip was fun. It was fun to get away. It was actually on Coney Island, and neither of us had ever been, but we sort of wished once we were there. We didn't realize it was going to take as long as it did to get there, and I think we ran into a lot of traffic. So we didn't have a whole lot of opportunity to really check out the rides and all of what makes Coney Island, which was a shame, because it looked like it was a lot of fun. I mean, seriously, no sooner did we get to New York and did we check into the hotel, that we really did, that we kind of had to immediately go out and get to the, what do you call it, the venue, because we weren't doing any type of meet and greet, but it was a special, it was some type of, was it 4-star? Basically, it wasn't general admission, it was a little bit next level of seats, but it wasn't any type of meet and greet. It was, I think it was within the first few rows. So you had to be there by a specific time, because you had to pick it up at the window. It wasn't one of those ones that, ooh, look at that side. Ooh. Okay, now, Even though it's coming out of the microwave, I'm not taking any chances and burning myself this time. So, look, I got gloves. If you watched my previous video, you'll understand. Ta-da! Oh, hang on. Yeah, so my phone just telling me that I'm chatting too long, but we're kneeling almost finished. So this is what it looks like. Because it's still very hot, I'm hoping that you can see it because I don't want it to go all over my counter. Yeah. Oh, you know what? There we go. Now, of course, you can use any type of chip that you want. But I'm a Tostitos type of gal. You know what? I like the scoops, but you can use whatever. I don't believe this is gluten-free, although a lot of times the Tostitos is gluten-free, or some of them are. Oh, this doesn't say, or it's not immediately, I guess not. The good thing about this dip, sometimes after I come home from work, and I'll come home, oh gosh, 7:30, 8 o'clock, I'll be walking in the door, and I just cannot be bothered. So if I do happen to make this, a lot of times, if what you can do, because I'm not going to eat this entire thing, not in one sitting anyway. The great thing is that you can reheat this 5 minutes in the microwave. It's good as new. I've done it so many times. I've made it on the weekend for a game or whatnot. And like I said, I can't eat this whole thing in one sitting. So I'll put some tinfoil on it, stick it in the fridge when I come home at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. If it's really busy and I can't be bothered because I don't want to wait any type of, to put something together, I will literally take this out of the refrigerator, stick it in the microwave for 5 minutes. It reheats beautifully. It really does. And yes, a lot of times that will be my dinner. Anyway, so those are 2 quick and easy recipes. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, please feel free to like it, comment, and or subscribe to my channel if you so choose. I hope that you do, and see you next time. Bye.